where the waves will come a-crashing. I'll be on the beach and casting on the high hook. When no one else is catching, I'm the only one with action on the high hook. Where the land meets the sea, that's where I'll be. Anywhere there's surf, that's my home turf. Hey there, friends and neighbors. This is your old pal Slap Hi-Ho Jackson saying, you ain't living, not even a smidgen, if you ain't surf fishing. So if you want to know where to go, what to throw, how to throw, what to throw it at, you just keep your eyes and ears right here on the Slap Jackson Show. We're going to tell you all about that. All right, so let's talk about the last 10 days of May, which was about May 12th to May 20th. Well, take a look at the footage here.
All right, so I got down to Jones Inlet, and it was early Mother's Day. I was lucky enough to catch this beautiful blue. And then I met a friend.
Here is Alan. He's doing a little fishing today down at Jones Inlet. How you making out, Alan?
Not too bad.
All righty, that's good. You come down here often?
All the time.
Good, man. You're throwing bait. You got a lure going on.
Yep.
Well, I think you're in the hot seat. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, man.
All right, so on Monday the 13th, I went back to Jones Inlet, and I got there just about 2 hours before dark on an incoming tide, and I caught a couple of blues just like this guy. All right, because it was picky down at Jones Inlet, I figured I'd come over here to Crab Meadow, see what was going on. And what I found was this one bluefish. That's all I caught. There were a couple of birds around. Every now and then they would hit the water, and that was about it. The water, as you can see, is a little cloudy. There's some debris in the water. That's what's caught on my lure as well. But I was very pleased. He's a nice-sized bluefish, and I had a good time over there. It's all I always do. A little windy. It was blowing hard from the south, but what can I tell you? I caught a nice fish, and I was on my way home.
All right, on Wednesday the 15th, I was back at Jones Inlet in the morning before the weather started to change, you know. And there were a couple of birds out there, and every now and then the bird would swoop down and hit the water and come up with a little piece of bait. Sometimes he wouldn't. But anyhow, I knew probably maybe there'd be a couple of fish around. I must have cast it over and over and over underneath those birds, wherever they were, and man, I couldn't come up with a hit. I tried my diamond jig with the green tube. I tried a little crippled herring. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get a hit. Yet, there was this guy fishing next to me. He was using punker, and while I was there, he pulled in 2 bluefish. So, go figure. For me, oh man, I was smelling skunk. It was terrible. Oh, I hate skunk. Everybody hates skunk. But you know, the next day was just terrific. Well, let me tell you about it.
All right, I wasn't killing them at Jones Inlet, nor was I doing the same 2 days ago over at Crab Meadow. So I figured I'd come to Sore Thumb, see what's cooking on Thursday. And it was a beautiful sunny day. Out there is Demo Point. That's what that arrow is all about. So it was a beautiful sunny day, and the guys fishing next to me were fishing lures and bait. Every time they reeled up their bait, it was untouched. Nothing went near it. So I figured after a little bit over an hour, I figured I'd come up here to Crab Meadow. Well, let me tell you something. I got out to Crab Meadow, and it was pretty much the same as 2 days ago. There was a couple of birds around. They would jump into the water every now and then, pick up a little piece of bait. So I figured maybe I should switch to a teaser and a little shad. And after about a half an hour, I got hit. And when I brought it in, the shad was mangled, but it would still swim. So I threw it out again. Next thing you know, it got nailed, gone. It was bitten off, and I switched to a diamond jig. So I throw my stuff back out there, and here I am lacing into this big fish, I think. But what it turned out to be is 2 smaller blues. Yeah, when you take a look here, you're going to notice that one of the blues took my teaser, this guy. And there's another guy under there. He's got the diamond jig, and there was 2 fish on there. So after I got these 2 guys off, I quickly got rid of the teaser because I know it'd just get in the way. And, well, anyhow, it'd probably get bitten off. All right, take a look out there. Underneath the arrows are little black specks. Those are the birds that are diving down on the bait fish that the blues are bringing up. Now, they're easily within my casting range, especially with the diamond jig. All I had to do was cast out there. I caught fish. This was the highlight of my day, this 24-inch bass that was feeding under. I bet you there were more bass, but the blues would grab them long before the bass could get at it. Man, it was hot, hot, hot that Thursday, and I had a wonderful time. Finally, it started to get dark. I had to go because the security guard had his lights flashing. He wanted to lock up the park. He'd lock up me, the car, the whole 9 yards in there, and don't think I didn't think about it. But anyhow, I had to be on my way, and I had a great time. All right, on Monday the 20th, I went back to Crab Meadow. You know, I was hoping things would pan out like they did on Thursday. But it was foggy, the wind was calm, it was beautiful there. I caught this one bluefish, and I was happy to catch it. The birds weren't interested in anything that was going on in the water, and it just wasn't going to materialize. That's it.
Oh man, I had a wonderful time on Thursday. I couldn't go wrong. Just throw my line out there. I'd get a hit just about every time I threw my line out. I must have caught, I don't know, I would say about, outside of the sea robins, the bass, and all those blues, probably about 30 fish. Oh man, it was wonderful. They kept me going continually. And let me give you a couple of notes here, Sometimes I would release a fish and I would check my leader line because especially when you're catching blues, they could easily fray it. When I started out that day, I had about 3 feet of leader line. And by the end of the day, I had less than 1 foot. So that's from the reties and from the lure changes. And let me tell you something. Well, take a look at this diamond jig here. I've been using it a lot. It's been working beautifully for me. It's effective. It's effective on bass. It's effective on bluefish, weak fish, sea robins even. Let me tell you something. It casts like a champ. You know what those diamond jigs just fly. And let me tell you something. It's long so that there are no bite-offs, I'm not going to get much fraying. I'm not going to get any bite-offs because it's a nice long lure. And not only that, but I do like it being long so I could grab the metal part and I still have a distance between me and the bluefish, which I like a lot. Now, the lure swims well, whether I retrieve it fast or slow. I mean, it's durable. It's got a couple of marks on it from the teeth of those bluefish, but hey, it holds up. It really does. And it's a single hook design, so it's easy to release. Well, let me tell you something, folks. I'm sure there were more bass out there, but those super aggressive blues just hit anything that I had thrown out there. Let me tell you something. But when it started to get dark, I figured let me switch over to this Phase 2 lure. It's a surface swimming needlefish. Maybe I could pull out a bass, maybe a weak fish would hit it, a little something different than the bluefish. Well, take a look at the picture here. Those bluefish were on it bingo repeatedly. And like I told you, that security guard had his lights flashing in the parking lot. Man, I didn't want to go, but I had to go. And I'll tell you this, God really rewarded me richly that day. All right, folks. So, what about the forecast? I think things are heating up even more and more. Fluke is out there now. I mean, any of the local places you can go, whether you throw bait or you throw lures, you're going to have a good time. And when I see you on the beach, I always practice catch and release.
I was born high on a dune, not a high tide full moon. There ain't no denying that when the fish are frying, I'm high hook. Where the land meets the sea, that's where